Folks, welcome back to So Bad It's Good. Today, this has been a long time coming. I wanted to have her on for a while now. We were supposed to do this in studio, but I couldn't get it booked in time. So she is here with us virtually. Now, I got to know her through Jeff Lewis Live. She is a regular on there, but you might not know she is a talented writer, actor, radio host, and podcaster. Her podcast, Tooks Takes, is every Wednesday because we're celebrating Kins Day today, baby. LaKendra Tooks is with us. LaKendra, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Ryan Bailey. Hey.
Listen, it is funny. I was saying, Jeff Lewis brings so many people together, and I try to explain that to people that might have preconceived notions about Jeff. Because, listen, we'll get in there and he will find that one aspect of your personality and really drill it down. But at the same time, he's given so many opportunities, and I've met so many great people, including you, through him. What has been your experience thus far on Jeff's show?
Honestly, I'm just so grateful to Jeff. I used to host Reality Checked,
on Sirius,
on Sirius XM, on Radio Andy. And apparently they didn't want the show to be funny anymore because they got rid of me and kept who they kept, which is fine.
Hey, which, by the way, when you watch Real Housewives of Orange County, are you wishing they said LaKendra Tooks, LaKendra Tooks, LaKendra Tooks instead of Kiki Monique, Kiki Monique, Kiki Monique? I'm joking, but they just say her first and last name so much on that show now.
They do say it. They first name, last name her quite a bit.
Yes, really, why not just Kiki? It's
right,
Kiki
and that's not even. I mean, I don't know, but I can't imagine that's actually her last name. That's got to be like her middle name or something. I don't know anyone whose last name is Monique. That sounds like a middle name. But anyway,
I just wonder if the producers making them say first and last name. That's like the thing that makes me laugh every time I watch it.
You know what's going on OC? They don't have anything else going on. So all they can do is say this girl's name over and over again. Film with her. It's like if I was in the cast if I was in the cast right now, or if I was a producer, I would be like, what the hell is this? Y'all don't have anything going on? Tamara, can we follow you to the office? Heather Dubrow. We had to watch Heather Dubrow play poker with her family. I was like,
and we have to hear about Heather Dubrow having sex with Terry Dubrow every week. I get it. You have a very sexy, I don't need to hear about it.
And first of all, I don't believe that. I don't believe
it at all. I think Terry's having sex with that Chat GPT that he was on this past week.
Definitely. He's having sex with anybody besides Heather. That is for sure.
Sorry to get off. We're already off the rails here.
I'm sorry. We're all over the place.
Back to Jeff. It was just that I was saying, it really, I thought was so great was that you were on Radio Andy and then you came on Jeff's show. He really liked you and you are now a regular. And, I just saw you on Saturday at Sarah Colonna's party. And that's what I love the most. The show is amazing and all the chumps are amazing and the listeners and all that stuff. But really what I was looking for at this point in my life was like an actual friend group. And I know that sounds potentially sad, but I was sitting there at Sarah's party on Saturday and I was only there for a couple hours, but I was like, man, this is a good group of people. And everybody seems to pretty much like each other for the most part.
Yes, we just have fun. Like, I almost feel like I'm in college again when I'm hanging out with the chumps.
Well,
we're just,
Today's show, you stayed until 10 p.m. at the party. You were the last chump to leave, we heard.
Okay, let me tell you. I did stay because all you chumps, you guys all left.
I left at like 3:30, so to hear 10 o'clock, I was like, what the hell happened?
What can I say? I love Sarah Colonna's friends. We were all laughing and having so much fun. All of her friends are Southern, and I'm from Georgia. And when I get around Southern people, we just get to laughing and having a good time. And I had taken my electrolytes, so I didn't get that drunk. So we were just having a great
electrolytes
time.
the key? Is electrolytes the key to be able to hang a long time?
I think it is for me. I think my issue, and now I know for next ChumpCon too, I think that I don't drink enough water and I get dehydrated and it just makes the alcohol and that. So I was hydrated and we were just laughing and talking and having so much fun. I loved all of Sarah's friends.
So Jeff was talking about this on the radio show today, you guys, and I was listening to it and it's always, when he starts to talk about something that you were there at, you're just bracing. You're bracing yourself because I literally heard the like, was anybody weird there? And I was like, oh no, they're going to say me. I know they're going to say, like, I was already bracing for it. And luckily, like, they said it for a second and then they went on to Patrick and Paul. And I was like, good, it's off me. It's off me. But to your point too, when you were talking about ChumpCon was held in Vegas, you guys. And LaKendra was like kind of new to the show. And she came out there and she was going to be in the audience for the big live show. And we were all having a blast, but like I was like moderating the show. So I was really nervous going into this thing. And LaKendra, I was going off to do like a rehearsal with Jameson. And I look at LaKendra, and LaKendra, you guys, is looking through me. Like, and I worked at like bars and nightclubs, and I was like, and it's like 5 or 6 in the afternoon. And I was like, I'm pretty sure LaKendra's drunk, but I was like, I can't think about that now. And it turns out she was drunk. And but by the way, she accepted it. She admitted it and she moved on. And I think Jeff loved you for that. I mean, you handled that with grace, drunken grace.
You know, honestly, I felt so bad because like you said, I was new. And especially like after what happened to me, like, you know, I don't know if you know, Ryan, like I had been hosting that other show for like over
what's the
a
story
year.
There. Well, like, so how did you end up getting reality checked in the first place? Because I remember it was Amy Phillips' show, who I love.
Yes.
And then they split it off and it was like you, Kiki, and Dorinda on Radio Andy. And now it's just Kiki and Dorinda. So what happened? Okay.
Well, I'll tell you the truth. And I also talked about this on my podcast, Tooks Takes. Tooks Takes, baby. What had happened was I had done the show that week. On Wednesday, it was Ken's Day. And then every other Thursday, you know, I'm very, you know, I'm an improv girl. I'm a writer. I like to always put my little stamp on things. So every Wednesday was Ken's Day. And every Thursday that I was there was a thick Thursday. So I literally had just had my thick Thursday. And I got a phone call Friday at 12 noon saying, LaKendra, due to budget cuts, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to renew your contract. And I was like, I was so worried about the Ken's Day crew because I had built this community. I had gotten countless people reaching out to me. I only listen on Ken's Day. And I mean, I'm not trying to be rude to anybody else because God bless them, but I only listen on Ken's Day too. Sorry.
Well, so I mean, in that situation though, and like being an actor and performer, and I have been one as well, you are so used to hearing no and opportunities like sliding away. And like, it takes so much to actually get something in this town. Like when you're faced with something like that, what is the feeling that is going through you? I mean, like, how long do you give yourself to pick yourself back up?
I try now. It used to take me a lot longer to pick myself back up, but now I just really try to keep a positive attitude. And, you know, I love the Lord. So I try to truly believe that if one thing doesn't work out, that just means that the Lord has something better for me. And he absolutely did, because I'm so grateful now for Jeff, for the chumps. Like, you know, I mean, I know, like, especially after what happened at ChumpCon, so many people were DMing me like, LaKendra, you effed up. Don't you know about what happened to naming all these other people's names? Jeff he fired this person. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. And I was terrified. I think I texted you. I texted Doug. I was texting Shane. I was so scared, but thank the Lord, it all ended up just being like a really funny story that we can tell. You know,
no, I mean, like I would have you, like I said, you handled that so beautifully. Where I would have just been like, yep, I'm just gonna move. I'm gonna move out of country. I will give up. I'm not cut out for this.
Trust me. I was ready to move. I was so scared. I was like, I don't want to piss off Jeff just because I'm so grateful to him. You know?
But also, you were having the time of your life there too. Like everybody was having such a fun time.
We were.
So like, you know, I would have gotten blitzed if I hadn't had to done the moderation thing. So it was one of those funny things. You're like, you're on top of the world, and then you're like, uh-oh, I'm too on top of the world.
I got a little too on top of the world. I was up in the clouds. I was like,
it's rarefied air up here.
I was looking down at creation, you know, like.
And the Lord loves you, so you know,
that's
like
right.
It's all good.
He took care of me.
So so you had the reality checked, obviously, but before we get into Housewives and Bravo and things like that, I did want to point out to the audience, and this is something because I've always been fascinated with Saturday Night Live because it's something that my dad had me watch with him as a kid, and it's just one of those habits that even if I don't love the writing or the cast, I'll still watch it. Like it's one of the just kind of like
it's an institution.
Yeah, I mean, 50 years in institution, and you were a writer on there, I think in 2013 or 2014. Is that right?
Yep, something around there. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, first off, that's legendary because I mean, I just think there are so many amazing people that have come through there. And I was just
Yeah.
to explain to the audience, I always try to explain this from this outsider's perspective. How do you get hired on SNL? Like, what was your career in New York leading up to getting hired as a writer?
Okay. I'm going to give you the quick version because it's a long story.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm going to give you the quick version. I was actually living in LA at the time, and they like this had to be now usually like right about now is when people usually audition for SNL and submit writing packets like over the summer to because the season premieres in the fall. So that particular year the season premiered and there were no black people except like Keenan and Jay Farrow. There were no black women specifically, and so there was this big story. Everybody's like, where's the black women, and so then I had over the summer at my old improv theater, IO West, I had been doing these character showcases. And you know how it is, Ryan, when you're doing improv, stand-up, anything. You pray to God one day Lorne Michaels will be in the
Yes.
audience.
Yeah, yeah.
You're like, please, Jesus, one day can Lorne buy a ticket to my show? So it turns out he wasn't in the audience, but one of his representatives was. And so when they were specifically looking for black women, they reached out to me. And I will never forget, it was right around Thanksgiving. I see an email and in the subject line it says SNL. And I was like,
It says
what?
you're black question mark?
Right. Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
attention all black people. This is SNL. No, but it was just a crazy experience. And I went to audition and I didn't even know until I got there. I didn't know it was all black girls. And then I got there and it was like me, Tiffany Haddish. This was in LA. They had done one in New York as well. So when we did it at the Groundlings, and so we did that. And I was really nervous because at the time, I was working at an office. I was like sitting in my cubicle. I used to have to like pretend I had a doctor's appointment to go to auditions and stuff like that.
I remember that life. So like if I had a commercial audition, I'd have to find somebody to cover me. I'd have to drive to Santa Monica, drive back, and like just hope that they would be able to see me immediately so I could get back on the road to do the hour drive back. It was insane.
Yes, it was terrible. So I did that, and then they invited me to come screen test.
When you're at Groundlings and you're doing that initial audition and you see everybody else there, are you cognizant of the fact that that went well?
Yes, it went really well. I have to pat myself on the back. I did a really good job. I was really proud of myself. There were all these people there that I'd seen on TV before. And then I'm there. I didn't even have an agent at the time. I was literally working my 9-to-5 job every day. And I would go do improv at night and go just do whatever I could whenever I could. And, but I knew I did a good job. And then also I felt like working at SNL in some capacity was a part of my destiny. I always felt that way since I was a kid. I always loved the show. My dad looks like Eddie Murphy. So I've always loved Eddie Murphy. And then when I was a little girl, when I was literally like 3 or 4 years old, my mother gave me Gilda Radner paper dolls. So like SNL was supposed to be a part of my life. So when I did that audition and I did my characters, let me tell you, people can say a lot of stuff about me, but one thing they cannot say about me is that I'm not funny. I'm funny. I know I'm funny. That's one thing I know about myself. I know I'm funny. I got the gift of gab. I can do some characters because I have an improv background. You know how it is, Ryan. When we're doing improv, you just go up there, you do whatever. You say, hey, what'd you have for breakfast this morning? Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And then you just do what you got to do.
It's a yes and kind of society that is built up based on like the back of improv. But that's a huge change to get hired then from that, right? Like, and you're not a performer, you're a writer, which that happens a lot. Like Bowen Yang started off as a writer. So many people on the cast started off as writers. Yeah. So that's a huge change though, to move from Los Angeles to New York when you're doing a 9-to-5 job that does not involve acting or performing.
No.
That's huge. I mean, do they set you up in a place? Like, how do you find a place? Like, how is that leading into late September, early October when they usually start their seasons?
Well, okay, let me tell you. So we did that showcase in November, and then I didn't hear from them for like a couple of weeks. Then I found out that we were going to be doing the screen test. They called me. They said, we're going to have you come do the screen test on December 16th.
And that's on the stage, right?
On the stage, which is now I will say that's scary. If you ever, anyone listening right now, I got really lucky before I auditioned, I used to have at one of my other 9 to 5 jobs, one of my coworkers, his auntie is Melanie Hutzel, who used to
I
be on
remember Melanie Hutzel.
Yeah, she used to be on SNL in the 90s with Chris Farley. Like when she auditioned, she's like, when I auditioned, Chris Farley was sitting in the audience watching me when I auditioned. And I was like, wow. Because I really appreciate Miss Melanie. She gave me a lot of tips about what to do. She's like, first of all, they may not laugh. Don't worry about it if they don't laugh. Okay. So I was like, in my mind, and I had rehearsed. I really rehearsed. I had a coach. I worked so hard because I knew they wanted it to be 5 minutes and I wanted to show them that I could follow directions. So I had mine at 4 minutes and 59 seconds. I had it to the T. And I made sure I looked really pretty because I know Lorne Michaels is an old man. And
So I didn't wear underwear to the audition, just in case.
No, I did have my panties on. You know, I am.
Folks, I've been introduced to a lot of products while doing this show, but there is a new product that I have fallen in love with. I am actually going to use my own product code to continue buying these, and that's because our friends at MeUndies is doing the Lord's work. I mean, I am wearing their underwear as we speak. I can't show you, and you probably don't want to see that, but it is truly an incredible product. As we enter the fall, you're looking for cozy clothes, and you want the same thing for your underwears. So this is style for everyone. MeUndies has a cut for every butt with over 20 different styles in 100 different colors and prints. There is unmatched comfort. MeUndies' signature super soft micro-modal fabric is breathable, stretchy, and unbelievably cozy. It is perfect for crisp mornings, chilly nights, and everything in between. Whether you're layering up for a hike or lounging in flannel all day, MeUndies moves with you and it keeps you comfy. Want even more seasonal comfort? Try the Breathe line. It's designed with moisture wicking and anti-odor tech to keep you fresh through fall workouts or just a long day of pumpkin picking, responsibly sourced as well. They use sustainably sourced materials and work with partners that care for their workers. Not happy with your first pair of MeUndies? It is on MeUndies. That's right. So with over 30 million pairs sold and 90,000 5-star reviews, MeUndies are an essential summer must-have for every drawer. I use this. You need to use this too. So right now, as a listener of my show, you can get cozy and spooky for less with deals up to 50% off at MeUndies.com/SoBad and enter promo code SoBad. That's important. That's MeUndies.com/SoBad, promo code SoBad for up to 50% off. MeUndies, comfort that's made for fall. Use the same underwear I'm using. We're talking about our friends over at Mint Mobile. I recently switched, and you should too, because you know what doesn't belong in your epic summer plans? Getting burned by your old wireless bill. And for a limited time, Mint Mobile is offering 3 months of unlimited premium wireless service for $15 a month on the nation's largest 5G network. Say goodbye to that old plan that is going to be overcharging you. And this network, it is high speed. You get unlimited talk and text. So ditch that overpriced wireless. Get 3 months of unlimited service from Mint Mobile for $15 a month. This year, skip breaking a sweat and breaking the bank. Get this new customer offer and your 3-month unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month at mintmobile.com/SoBad. That's mintmobile.com/SoBad. Upfront payment of $45 required. That's equivalent to $15 a month. Limited time new customer offer for first 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on the unlimited plan. Taxes and fees are extra. See Mint Mobile for details. DraftKings Casino has your playbook for gaming action all season long. Play thousands of popular slots for a shot at jackpots. Over 400 million has already been awarded. New players get 500 spins on Huff and More Puff over 10 days. So download the app, use code SOBAD, and claim your spins after your first $5 wager. Get in the game with DraftKings Casino, home of the largest jackpot win in online casino history. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. 21 plus, physically present in Connecticut, Michigan, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, West Virginia only, void in Ontario. Eligibility restrictions apply. New customers only. Non-withdrawable casino spins issued as 50 spins per day for 10 days. Valid for featured game only and expire each day after 24 hours. See terms at casino.draftkings.com/promos. It ends October 5th, 2025 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
I'm a good girl, but I wore fake
I
eyelashes. I had my hair big, and I was like, let me just make sure I look pretty, and let me do my thing. And then in my mind, I was like, just in case they don't laugh. Oh, and also like right before I got on stage, I was in the dressing room, like, you know, getting ready or whatever. Seth Meyers came and knocked on the door and said, "Good luck." Everybody that works at SNL is so wonderful. Like, if you ever get the chance to work there, go. Even if they're like, do you want to be our janitor? Yes.
Oh yeah, like that's what I could see myself getting coffee for people or janitorial skills. Like if there's auditions for janitorial, I would put myself up immediately.
Soon they're gonna start releasing. They're gonna start releasing the new janitors soon. They're gonna be.
By the way, you're gonna see Deadline Hollywood Day, like famed janitor of SNL let go for new upstart Ryan Bailey. Like it's gonna be amazing.
You've seen him on TikTok. He's the biggest janitor on TikTok.
Yeah. So you do that, and like, can you? I always like, can you, in your senses, can you recall like the smell and the feel, the all of that, like, because that is such a legendary stage. And there was this great documentary last year about all the auditions, and the 5-minute thing is right, but like they were showing Keenan's audition, and he went like 15, 20 minutes. He just kept going, and I just thought, wow, he didn't follow the rules, but that was fine for Keenan.
Because let me tell you something, at SNL. Lorne Michaels is Lorne Michaels. I would say at SNL, the person who's like Lorne Michaels has the most experience. The second most experience is Kenan Thompson, because he's been doing
on the show 22 years.
And he's been doing He's been doing sketch comedy literally since he was a child. So it's one thing to be a child actor, but to be on a sketch comedy show as a child, you got to be super talented for that. One of the writers at SNL, I don't know if he's still there, but Brian Tucker. Hey, Brian Tucker. He was always so sweet and wonderful. He said, if you ever want to have a part in your sketch where everyone's going to laugh, just put like Kenan reacts or something like that, because he knows how to just make those faces. Like he knows what he's doing. Like he knows what he's doing. He's really good.
You do that, and you felt like, okay, that went well, or at least I left it all on the dance floor.
Okay, let me tell you, Ryan. Right after I did the screen test, now I didn't really look in the audience. I believe Tina Fey was there, Seth Meyers was there, and then Jay Farrow and Finesse Mitchell, they were there because we were all black girls. So we needed a couple black people in the audience, you know, just to. They were almost there like our big cousins, like making sure everything was cool. You good? You good? You know, it was great. So I didn't see Lorne Michaels there. So as soon as I got done, I remember I called my dad and I said, "Dad, I don't even know. I know I did a good job, but Lorne Michaels wasn't even there. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what's going on here." And so then later that night, they called only a couple of us and said, "Can you stay for the rest of the week?" Because this was like a Monday night. So it was me, Amber Ruffin, and Leslie Jones. They said, can the three of you stay for the rest of the week? So I still have my 9-to-5 job. I had to lie and say I had a family emergency, guys, and I can't talk about it right now, but I won't be back until next week.
Your job wouldn't understand SNL? Or,
well, you can't talk about it.
Okay.
You can't talk about it. You can't, you don't.
Leslie Jones and Amber Ruffin, I mean, both have legendary careers at this point. So it's the three of you. You stay around for the rest of the week. And what does that mean? You have to make Lauren's popcorn, or what's going on?
Okay. We have to meet everybody because they before they hire you, they like to make sure that you're not too crazy, and they have to make sure they like being around you, because during the show weeks, you're together a lot. So they have to make sure. So they had us come. We were meeting everybody, the cast, all the writers. And so we did the screen test on Monday. And then on Tuesday, I got to meet Lauren. And I was so nervous, but it was so cool. It was like it's definitely one of the most magical moments of my life, to meet him and to have him say, "Hello, LaKendra, you were really talented. You did a good job last night." Right.
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
He's
pretty good.
I've studied SNL like for most of my life, and like
Yes.
it's just so funny. Everybody's not impersonation of Lauren, but always what they will say about him and how
Yeah,
relaxed he is and
he is.
calm under fire, and he's done this for so long. And Will Ferrell said, when I met him, I went in with like this tiny with a briefcase that was filled with Monopoly money, and I was just gonna put it on his desk and say, "Listen, this is for you. Whatever you want to do with it." And it was like fake Monopoly money. But then he went in there and realized that was a stupid bit. And
That was stupid.
he took the briefcase with him and goes, I wonder if Lauren ever wondered like what this guy had in the briefcase. Like I was going to leave it behind and just thought that was not the right thing. So what do you say to Lauren Michaels to say, I'm not too crazy, but I'm sane. What's the perfect thing to say?
Okay. Well, for me, when he told me, he's like, you did a great job last night. And I said, you were there? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't know you were there. I said, I didn't see you in the audience. I didn't even know you were there. He's like, yeah, I was there. And I was like, and so then he and I just started chit-chatting. We probably chit-chatted for maybe like, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes or something like that.
Have you been to the Hamptons, LaKendra? It's
Well, he was asking me a lot of questions about the show. He was like, so do you watch the show? Are you a fan of the show? And I said, sir, I had Gilda Radner paper dolls. And he just goes,
yeah.
and so then we started talking about the show, and I was like, I love classic comedy. And I was supposed to be talking about SNL. Then I don't know how I started talking about the Dick Van Dyke Show. I was like, I just love the Dick Van Dyke Show. And he's like, yes, that is a great show. And so then outside of his office window, if you look out the window, you can look down and you can see like the ice skating rink. And so this was December.
Oh,
and
gosh.
he goes, and I had never been to New York. So the first time I ever went to New York was the screen test for SNL.
What, guys, if I can recommend two things, it's going to New York and screen testing for SNL. But also, that's such an iconic ice skating rink. And like, I would almost expect that it's like, oh, this has to be like virtual reality. Like this can't be, I'm in Lauren Michaels' office looking down at 30 Rock ice skating rink at Christmas.
I told him, I was like, I said, sir, this is my first time here in New York. And he's like, well, have you ever seen the Rockefeller Center ice skating rink? And I said, no. And so he's a gentleman. He's such a gentleman. He led me over to the window. He helped me stand up on a chair because I'm short. He helped me stand up on a chair so I could look out the window. And that's the first time I ever saw the Rockefeller ice skating rink in person. It's like Lauren Michaels was kind of holding my hand a little bit. It was really, really, really sweet.
See, isn't that what life is about? It's like building, like, it's like success and all of that stuff. But those moments are what sustains you as an artist or as somebody of like those kind of things. I geek out on even just hearing that. Like I got chills hearing that. Yeah. So at the end of that conversation, does he say like, oh, would you like to move to New York? Do you think you could see yourself here? Like, how does that conversation end?
Okay, so so we just chatted, and then it was just like, okay, nice to meet you. And so then, and then it's Tuesday night, so it's writers' night. So on Tuesday night, the writers stay there all night writing because we do the read through on Wednesdays. And so then also on Tuesday night, Lauren and whoever's the host that week, and then whoever is like the VIP cast members, they go to dinner.
Yes, I always read about the dinner, and Lauren handpicks who gets to go. And it's almost this is why it's a very competitive thing. It's not just the show itself, you guys. It's all the politics behind the show. So consider if you're like a Jeff Lewis listener, the chumps that Jeff picks from. It's like there's all these social events like we just went to with Sarah Colonna's, and it's great and it's fun. But there's like this I don't think we're competitive in any sense, but SNL I hear is insanely competitive. And I don't know if Lauren makes it that way on purpose, but it's always like who gets invited to that dinner.
Yeah, I think it just kind of, it just is that way because we're competitive because we're always auditioning. And also it's very competitive because you want to get your sketch on the air. It's hard. Getting your sketch on the air is really, really hard. At the read through, we probably read through like 40 or 45 sketches and then only like, 8 to 10 make the show. And
then even some of those will get cut at the last minute at dress, right?
Yep. Sometimes
so when do you find out? So it's Tuesday, Wednesday. Like when do you find out?
Okay, so we stuck around the rest of the week. I spent a lot of time hanging out with Amber Ruffin because, like I said, I had never been to New York, so we were doing all the New York things. I ate a hot dog on the street, and so then like that Saturday, me, Leslie and Amber, we got to go see the show, and it was the Christmas show. It was hosted by Jimmy Fallon. It was amazing. And so then we got to go to the after party and like all these, so like, okay, and you know I like old school stuff. So Penny Marshall, may she rest in peace. Penny Marshall of Laverne and Shirley. Miss
And
Penny
also
was
amazing
there.
director of the movie Big and so many other
Yes.
great films.
But for me, that is Laverne, because as a little girl, she always had that L on her shirts. And, you know, I'm LaKendra. So I was like, oh, mommy, I want to put an L on all my shirts like Laverne, you know? So when I met her, I said, oh, my goodness. You know, I told her that story. And I was like, you know, I just met Lorne Michaels for the first time this week. And she's like, well, I've known Lorne for 40 years, you know, like that. But no, it was such an amazing time to be there, especially for me, somebody who, you know, this is my first gig in the business. You know, Leslie had been doing stand-up for years and years and years. Amber had been doing, like, we had both been doing improv, but you know, Amber had done like Boom Chicago. So they were totally, I was green. I was neon green. So we finished out that week. We all went home on Sunday, and then you go home. And I didn't talk to anybody about this. Only talk to my parents.
You go up to Lorne Michaels at the after party and go, "Hey, great show! Can't wait to be like." What do you like? Do you just? I would try to like stay as far away from it as possible.
And if anyone's listening and you're auditioning, and while you're auditioning and you haven't gotten the job yet, if you get to go to the after party, just leave Lorne alone. Okay. Yeah. I got to talk my first. Okay, wait. Let me get back to. Okay, so. We get home the after party. I can't remember. I don't think I talked to Lorne. I was just, and then there was the after party. So when we went to the after, Ryan, did you freeze?
No, I'm here.
You froze for a second. Oh, you're good. Okay,
I'm here. Yeah.
Sorry. At the after party, Jimmy Fallon bought the bar. So we were just drinking, having a good time. I was just chit-chatting with everybody. Miss Paula Pell was there. I was just chit-chatting with everybody because I mean, I'm just a fan. I'm just there soaking it all up, you know? So then we go home. And I went back on Monday. I went to work at my 9-to-5 job. And so it was around
you had to act like you were in deep mourning for one of your relatives because you would lie.
And they were so sweet to not ask me for details.
That's amazing.
God bless them for not asking me for details because I'm a terrible liar. But
so that week was like a fever dream, and then you're back at your normal life.
And I'm back to my normal life.
What the hell am I doing here?
Yep, I'm sitting in my cubicle working. So that was 2 weeks. Then we got the call probably like the first week of January. It had to be like January 5th or 6th.
Yeah,
I'm sitting in my cubicle at my desk at work. I see a 212 number pop up on my phone. I said, that's New York. Oh my God. So I tucked away into like a little back office. It was Lorne Michaels. Wow. It was Lorne Michaels. He said, we'd like to invite you to come and be a writer on the show. We think you have all the talent we need. His words.
Oh,
and that was really sweet. And so then it was like, that was like, you know, on a Monday or Tuesday. And then I was supposed to start the following Monday. So I had to like get it together and like move out of my place. And they give you like, you know, they pay your relocation and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I think I stayed in a hotel for like my first like 2 weeks. And then I found a place and you know what? Kate McKinnon, who was on the cast at that time, she was like, you know, I love real estate. If you need help looking for a place, let me know. I'm like, Kate, thanks, but you're fine, sweetie. She's so great. So great. Everybody there is great. Everybody's great.
So, I mean, but then you're already in, like, they're halfway through a season. Relationships are already formed and stuff like that. So you're having to...
Yeah.
I mean, which is interesting because even like when I started on Jeff's show, you know, trying to even find a place or how it all works or, you know, and not that there's like, I don't know, not that there's any rules and it's not SNL, but at the same time, you realize a lot of these are long-standing relationships and you are new. So how is that then trying to ingratiate on top of writing ideas or throwing things out there? Like, how do you not always feel like you're failing or behind?
You always feel that way. It's very, very scary. If I could go back in time, I wish I would have had more fun because I was always so worried about everything. I was so worried about how do I look? Am I doing this right? Am I doing that right? And I wish I would have just kind of enjoyed it a little bit more. But lucky for me, Leslie Jones and I started at the same time. So we had each other. Also, Sashir Zameda. So like they hired Leslie and I to be writers, and then Sashir Zameda was in the cast, and then Amber Ruffin got hired to go write on Seth Meyers' show because at the same time, my first 3 weeks at SNL were Seth Meyers' last 3 weeks at SNL because he was about to
Whoa.
start his late night show.
That's wild. So you have to get in there and you have to learn like the working rhythms, and it's a very different rhythm than any other job. You also come from an improv background, and so you're just constantly pitching ideas or trying to write for cast members, but people don't know who you are. I mean, like, I feel like that is just, I can't even imagine that kind of stress and pressure on something that is supposed to make people laugh every week.
It's so scary, especially that first week. You know, it's really, really scary. Because also,
Who was
you know,
the host your first week?
Drake, the rapper. He was so dreamy and cute. I was like, hi.
And what? So I mean, so the audience, like, because doesn't it start like? Is it Monday or Tuesdays when the everybody gets in and like pitches something to the guest?
On Monday, yeah, we all pile into Lauren's office. The host sits in a chair right in front of Lauren's desk. At least this is how it used to be. I don't know if things have changed. But so Drake is sitting there looking so dreamy. It's my first day. Of course, you know, Leslie is so bold. Leslie's like, "What up, light skin?" And I was like, and so then I'm just like there, and I was so scared. And so we're all supposed to pitch an idea. They're like, "Yeah, if you have an idea, pitch it." And I was like, well, Drake, I know that you're Black and Jewish, so I'd love to write a sketch about what your bar mitzvah must have been like. And so then they came to me later on and said, hey, we're going to make that the monologue.
Oh, there we go.
That was my first week at SNL. Myself, Vanessa Bayer, and another amazing writer, Merica Sawyer. They're both Jewish. So I teamed up with them because I was like, you know, I need you guys to help me with the Jewish stuff. And they helped me. And that was my first week. And I wrote Drake a rap and he rapped. And it was great. One of my lines was, I wear a yarmulke. Please don't believe that I will not be harming you.
I mean, you think at that point too of like, well, this is going to be a breeze. Like I just threw that out there and my God, I'm already, they're using it for the monologue. So I will be on this stage in no time. And then
that's what I thought.
Well, a lot of people have, it seems like a similar story of like, they'll get that first kind of hit and then they will be in the boonies for like the rest of the season.
I got two things on the air. I got Drake's bar mitzvah, and then I think either the next week or the following week, myself and Jay Farrow, we got together and wrote, because it was Black History Month. So we wrote a song called 28 Reasons. 28 Reasons. It started out with my idea was 28 reasons to hug a Black guy because it's Black History Month. So then we just wrote this whole little song and it became a sketch and we made a music video for it. It was really, really cool. And so then my first 3 weeks were awesome. And then I was pretty much from there. And as I was falling downhill, Leslie got to do her little weekend update thing. And so then, so my time there was short. Obviously, Leslie has gone on to have an incredible career, but I mean, I will say that my star is ever rising,
No, I mean, obviously that's but what I always think is like that tool belt is like you collect experiences and stuff. And when, and Jeff is another one. And like your movie career and TV career, whatever happens next, what I love, and I study celebrity and I study actors and all that stuff, is that they always have this long lineage of amazing experiences before the big thing happened. And like SNL, that's a pretty damn great place to start. Like, my God, if you and to be green as you were, to have that experience. Like when I found out, I was like, everybody geeks out about that show, even if they like even if they like the show or not.
Yeah. Because it's so legendary, and so many, especially as a comedian. Like for a comedian, I don't know about the kids today, but at least back in my day, for a comedian, it's like SNL is the goal. Like that's what you want. I remember sitting in my improv class and our teacher was like, what is your goal with improv? I said, one day I want to work on SNL. And he's like, psh, yeah, so do I. And I was like, well, I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Well, and also, I mean, I used to do Improv Olympic back in the day, and people don't realize, not that anybody thinks improv is glamorous, but it's like you would invite your friends to like, a show at 10 p.m. at night on the shitty stage at IO upstairs in the loft.
The black box.
And in the black box. And, you're like, oh God, my two friends that I have to apologize for watching really rough improv. Yep. And it's like a really like you got to really want it. You got to want that life. And it's it's the same thing with stand-up comedians in a sense. So to get that, and then you come back to LA, or do you stay in New York after the contract isn't renewed?
I stayed in New York for a little while. And while I was there, I will say not getting renewed at SNL career-wise, that hurts so bad that like probably if it happened to me today I could handle it better, but at the time I felt like a loser. I didn't want to tell anybody. I was embarrassed. I couldn't watch the show again for like a year. Like it was really, really hard. And then
you liked it there even though it was stressful, right?
It was stressful, yeah, but I did like it. And I was hopeful. I thought I deserved more time, to be honest. I thought I did deserve more time. And I've heard that other people who were on the show at that time, when they meet people that we both mutually know, they'll say, LaKendra really got the shaft. Like she deserved another season at least. Cause it's like I only got half a season.
Yeah. I mean, that show is littered with that, and like those people, like even I was reading the goodbyes from the cast that were axed last week, and all of them were surprised because you don't find out until a couple weeks before they come back, some of them. And so they're like, wow, I thought this was going to go a different way. And you can just sense the hurt even in their Instagram posts.
Oh God, it hurts. I've been ghosted. I've been left at restaurants by men. Nothing compares to getting ghosted by Lorne Michaels. That hurts. And then for me, it happened to me. So then they were like, we're going to let you go. I mean, let me tell you something. Thank God I love the Lord and I'm a positive person, because I probably would have, jumped off the bridge or something because
Lauren, let me see the ice skating rink again. I'm going to jump from your
I'm going to jump from the window. Can you open the window a little wider so I can fit, please? But so then it's like Leslie, they're like, okay, get rid of her, put Leslie in the cast. Then Leslie got Ghostbusters, all these amazing things. It's impossible.
And how do you not compare? How do you not compare and despair?
You can't. I mean, I don't know who can. If you can go through that and not get jealous, you're an amazing person. I am not that amazing. Was I jealous? Yes. Like, I mean, I love Leslie. I was so happy for her. She's been in the game so long. Leslie definitely deserved it. However, I'm just over here feeling like a loser. I mean, I just felt like a loser. It really, really sucked. So I did not take that non-renewal. I did not take that one well. But the experience of not taking that well, I think prepared me for like what happened at Reality Checked. So I was mad. I was sad. I was confused. As a lot of people DM'd me and were also confused, and I'm still getting DMs from confused people. But I said, you know what? And I wish I would have done that then. I wish I would have just said, you know what? Lord, you got something better for me. Because that's what I did say this time around. And he absolutely did, because I'm so grateful now. I'm actually low-key glad I got let go from Reality Checked, because I'm glad I've been able to build this bond, not just with Jeff, but with people like you, like with all the chumps.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, it really, I can't impress that enough to people that listen that don't understand, where I'm like, a lot of people be like, oh, watch it or watch out, and I'm like, I've had, even if this experience ends next week, which every week I think it's going to end.
Right.
It's been really great. And I have people, I have people in my life that I consider actual friends now. It's like a good group of people. And that I just keep trying to tell people, I'm like, I get what you think, but this is how it is. And yes, he does tease, he does all of those things, but also I'm usually the first to laugh at myself. So I enjoy that as well. So then to explain to the audience too, of like Reality Check, did you always love reality TV? Like when did reality television get into your subconscious?
I have always loved reality TV.
That's
first of all, as a kid, I loved game shows. I love a game. I will sit here and watch old episodes of Match Game and Password Plus. If I'm running
late, we were
late,
watching Supermarket Sweep the other night.
Oh yes, me and my brother will smoke. Hey y'all, I'm a little bit of a no cops, right? You don't have any narcs.
Yeah, get her, guys, get her. This show is we're mic'd up. We're mic'd.
My brother and I, we used to have so much fun. We would have a little smoky smoke and we would watch Supermarket Sweep and just be laughing at people, laughing at David Ruprecht's
his sweaters. His sweater. He had, this guy was like Bill Cosby sweaters times 10. And he had one that like was emblazoned with the word spirit the other night. And we were like, this is insane. And you could tell the contestants on Supermarket Sweep, which was in the 80s, you guys, they were just so excited to be there. They were so excited to be there. And we watched like 3 or 4 episodes back to back. It was pretty intense.
It is intense. So probably my first foray into any sort of reality was loving game shows. And then as a kid, I remember when like The Real World came on MTV, I was obsessed with it. I didn't even know what it was. And back when we were kids, we didn't have Google. We didn't have like I'm sitting there watching. I'm like,
we had old-fashioned MTV. That's what we had. We had basic cable, you guys. You don't understand the plight.
Basic cable, a set of encyclopedias, and a phone book. Have a nice summer,
Right. I mean, God, think about how hard the encyclopedia industry was hit when the internet happened. Because we had an encyclopedia set too that my grandma gave us, and we thought we were rich with information. And then the computers come around, internet comes around, encyclopedias are donezo.
They're done. I remember my dad he got all of our encyclopedias on a CD-ROM. So then we had all the.
I remember that. I remember though. Yes, was the Britannica.
I'm giving away my age.
Yeah. What? Well, I had carrier pigeons that would deliver my mail to people. But Real World, to your point, is that usually it's like a couple different paths for people that love reality television. It's usually The Real World, or it's something like Survivor. And then if, like depending on the age range, you might directly have gone into Bravo. But if you have directly gone into Bravo, usually there was somebody that introduced you to it. You didn't go in cold.
Let me tell you, the way that I started watching Bravo, I was flipping channels and I saw The Real Housewives of Orange County season 1 and I was hooked. And I've been hooked ever since. I love everything Housewives. That I never watched Bravo before because Bravo used to be very different. Bravo used to be like inside the actor's studio with James Lipton.
I loved it. I love James Lipton and Inside the Actor's Studio, and they used to show at night. They used to like a lot of ballet. I shit you not. There was a lot of ballet programming.
Yes.
So they had Inside the Actor's Studio, and then Queer Eye for the Straight Guy came around, and that was a gigantic hit for the time.
That was huge.
And that kind of was like the door opening, and you had those like OG Bravo shows with like Workout with Jackie Warner, Blowout. Blowout was one of my favorite with Jonathan Antin. I loved. I don't know.
Tabitha Salon Takeover.
Oh my.
Now, actually, you know what? I lie because I did watch Workout with Jackie Warner. I had a girl crush on Jackie Warner. I loved Workout. And again, this was even really before social media. So it was like I was just watching it and I wasn't talking to anyone about it, and same when I started watching Housewives, it's like I don't think Housewives really like hit where everybody was talking about it until maybe like when Atlanta came on. So when Atlanta came on, I was just excited because for me, being a little Black girl from Georgia, every time when I was a kid, every time we went to Atlanta, I just remember that's where I would see all the rich Black people. So I was excited to get a Real Housewives of Atlanta. So I've been Housewives obsessed right from the get-go.
Is there a franchise that's never appealed to you? Because we all have our favorites. Like we all have like, oh, this is just, it feels like home. But then there are some that, and I always say with anything, with any good art, it finds you at the right time. Like I've tried, like I remember for some reason, I think I was so busy at the time that I didn't start Potomac. And then everybody told me how amazing Potomac was. And then you're told how amazing it is so many times that you're like, I'm not going to watch it just to spite you because I am not going to do what you tell me. And then I started watching Potomac at the beginning of the pandemic and I was like, oh, okay, this is amazing. And this is the right time to have found this show. But was there one that didn't speak to you that you're like, this sucks? You know
what? In the beginning, New York didn't speak to me. I didn't sit down and watch all of New York until this probably like by the time like it was like season 6 or 7, like the first few seasons, I just from like watching other housewife franchises, I would see the New York girls on Watch What Happens Live, but I didn't really know. I didn't really get it. Like with Bethany
and the
rhythms.
Girls. It's like the rhythms of each franchise. Like Atlanta was the one, in my opinion, where it was the first of like, oh, these are all comedy writers. Like the dialogue was so funny. Like each one of them had such a sense of humor. Obviously, Nene being at the top of that list. Yes. But then in New York, I always talked about was like an independent film where it was like a David Mamet play where every lady's talking over each other. So you'd have to watch it 3 times and you'd get 3 different conversations out of each time you watched it because they're just talking over each other. And then OC to me was like this weird dystopian documentary where it was not a group of women. It was in the beginning, it was a lot of solo stories of these women and their families, and they didn't really connect as much. So it was very dystopian, but it all was like these little behind, like there was similarities. Like I go like, oh, these are human people like I am, but it takes you behind this kind of gate that you're not ever invited on. And I thought that's what was interesting.
Yeah, because I think it came on. I don't know if Desperate Housewives was still on. So when I first saw it, the vibe I got was, because this is like a reality TV version of Desperate Housewives. And so I had watched Desperate Housewives a little bit when I was in college. But so that's what I was like, just kind of looking like, because I love watching rich people. Like as a kid, I love to see Dynasty.
Still to this day though, because a lot of people are like, oh, bring like Miami. A lot of people are like, okay, Stephanie, the new housewife, she's bringing a lot of wealth, and people are like, oh, I love to see wealth. But sometimes that is worn off for me, and also I'm a dude, so I know like I don't like fashion kind of escapes me, which is another huge thing. But do you still have that same like I want to see opulence?
Yes. I want to see you shopping. I want that little cryon at the bottom that says $97,000. Like
Crystal Minkoff's purse in Beverly Hills. Remember that one season when she had the purse and what it was like
the Birkin,
$30,000 or something?
No, it was 96. No, okay, wait. Yes, that one was 96,000. Somebody had a 90.
We were just at Crystal's house. We should have asked to see that purse. I didn't even think of it. That would probably not be classy to ask to see the purse.
Next time. Was that your first time there?
No, I'd been there one time before, but it was even before Jeff's show. Like I knew Crystal before. Yeah.
Okay. The next time we go, I think we should ask. Because I was just like nervous. Like I'm just a little country girl. I'm from Georgia and Florida. I grew up in the trailer park. I'm not used to the mansions. So I was like,
I'm blown away. We were at Crystal's, you guys, for Rob's birthday. And this is name droppy or whatever, but no. I think you're in the same position I am, where it's just like you're kind of blown away. You're looking around the room and you're like, I watched all these people on TV and this is wild. Like we're just having conversations and you're like tuning in and out of like 5 different conversations, and each conversation you're like, this is hysterical. This is wild. And you're like, I have nothing to offer this party. Like I have nothing to offer, you know?
Yes, we do.
No, I don't mean that in a negative way, but it's just it's like hearing all like Reza and his dude, like, you know, it was just great.
Yeah, it's great. You know, I'm so grateful to Jeff for the opportunity, but also, like you said, like this friend group, this community, I'm just super great. I love everybody. And I felt so comfortable. The first time I ever did Jeff's show, I was nervous because I didn't really watch Flipping Out when it was on, but of course I knew who Jeff was. I knew he was snarky, and I knew that he's the type of dude that'll tell you like, you've put on some weight, or, oh, your hair doesn't look good. Like, I know he's that type of person. So I said, let me make sure I look pretty, because I know, but I felt so comfortable. I think you were there, right? My first day.
Yes.
Yes.
I
felt so. Thank you, by the way, Ryan. You're part of the reason that I felt so comfortable. I felt right at home.
Yeah, you were like, I look pretty good next to Ryan. I'm okay. Yeah. No, I mean, it really. I know everyone's like, stop talking about Jeff, but he has this great way of really relaxing all the guests, even new people. And I study hosts and stuff, like, or even like a game show host,
Mm-hmm.
But he does this great thing where he will get you talking about his life. He's not going to even ask you questions kind of about yourself at first. He's going to be like, oh, guess what I did over the weekend? I was on a plane and I raw dogged it. I didn't watch any show. Have you ever raw dogged a flight? Like, it's a great way to get people talking and comfortable.
Yes. And then you can just because we do improv, somebody says raw dog and you're going to think about, I think about something else when I hear the word raw dog.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. Yeah. The Lord loves you. You love the Lord. Back to reality shows. So the opulence, you still want to see all the opulence, but the thing I keep talking about with the audience the last month is I want to see real relationships. And I think OC, real relationships. Yes. I want to believe that when the cameras go down, these people are still friends and in each other's lives. And I think it's been a long time since we can really say that. And I think Real Housewives of Orange County this season really proves that. In your estimation, And by the way, Tooks Takes every Wednesday. Go rate it 5 stars. She talks about these shows as well.
I do.
What do you think is happening on OC this season?
You know what? It's hard with the Housewives now because back in the day, they weren't really thinking about the audience. You know, Vicky Gunval said she
Social
wasn't.
media.
Yeah, they weren't thinking about that back in the day. They were just being themselves. They were just, doing their thing. And that's why we have so many iconic moments. We don't get iconic moments today like we used to get. Like, when's the last time you quoted Gina?
No, man, Gina's taking some hits lately. But no, well, know what it has to be. It's almost not quotable. You'll have to have big blow-ups like Scandival. You'll have to have Scandival level events. And so OC, you're like, oh, well, when you start thinking about the episode, you're like, the episode wasn't that entertaining. But then when you think about it afterwards, you're like, this is insane. Like, there's a whole show going on behind the scenes of the actual show. Yes. And I think that's the part that I'm like, the audience doesn't even understand why this is like Inception and meta, nor should they be worried about this shit. The fact that Kiki Monique is one of the more entertaining storylines is wild because
entertaining is a stretch.
Well, but you know what? I don't want to see me when I go on a show. Like I don't want to see like talking about memes and podcasts and soft journalism.
I want to see you shopping. I want to see you throwing fabulous parties. I want to see you arguing about dumb stuff.
Yes, I want to, and that's why I think Miami this season, I really enjoy Miami. Like I think it's like, this is what, like it's enough relationship. Like you have Adriana, obviously, Alexia and Marisol, who have been friends for like those frickin' frack. I love watching them. Yeah, like that's a real relationship. And so it has opulence, it has humor. Like, I mean, some of these people, Adriana calling Kiki Ratchet, and then they said, no, I mean wretched.
I meant wretched. I meant wretched. No, not ratchet, wretched. And it's like, who says wretched?
She meant ratchet. She didn't mean wretched. Yeah.
She didn't mean wretched.
Yeah.
Who says wretched? You're so wretched.
OC, though, to me is just like, I mean, it's like, it's gotten too, there's no way we can go back. No. So like, where do we go from here? And in this storyline, because I'm like, at the end of the day, they're all liars. Each one of these ladies are liars in some capacity. So what do you think happened here? Like, did Gretchen say that she was roofied by Tamara during the Naked Wasted season 4, when OC was a real show? Like, what is happening?
I can guarantee you. I'm making myself a fly on the wall that night at Mastro's when it was Jan and Ryan, Slade and Gretchen, and Katie and her husband, whatever his name is. So Matt. I can guarantee you Gretchen said it. And maybe she didn't exactly say roofied, but maybe she alluded to something like that. Okay. And that's what made Katie think that. And Gretchen definitely said she went to the hospital. I believe that. Gretchen's lying about not saying she went to the hospital. And I think
Katie's a liar too.
Katie's a liar too. They're all liars. Now, okay, the thing that Katie lied about, which I don't know why Katie lied about this. Why did Katie lie about telling Kiki the thing about Gretchen? Because to me, I'm like, that's not even a big deal because you could just go back and watch it on season 4.
Yes. Like, by the way, I watched it last Thursday, that episode, and it was a very dark episode. And then I was like, okay, so Gretchen, maybe you could have just said, oh, I said it in jest. I didn't mean it for real. I said it in jest. But then I was talking to the audience yesterday and I was saying, oh, maybe it's because Gretchen freaked out because if it's roofie, that means production could be liable for some sort of lawsuit, even though it was 17 years ago because they were filming that night. But regardless, I do believe, why is Katie lying about Kiki? Because listen, I know Kiki's not lying about that. Like you can say whatever you want about Kiki, but she's not lying.
I don't think she's lying about that.
Katie's done this repeatedly with a bunch of different people. And I just don't know why double and triple down.
Let me tell you. I don't know about this Katie character. And I was right. And listen, on Tooks Takes, I always say I'm a flip-flopper. Because one week I love you and the next week I'm like, I hate you. So
but that's what's great about being a Bravo Housewives fan is that normalize changing your opinion on a dime. We can do that. We have the right to do that.
And that is why I always say the Housewives are my sports. It's just like sports. Because one week your favorite team does great. Your favorite quarterback does great. The next week they fumble. You know,
And I'll get so upset at Tamara. I'll be like, "Oh, stop it, Tamara." I'll yell at the screen. "Oh, stop it,
oh
Tamara.
yeah,
You know
scream,
exactly what's going on right
throw stuff
now."
at the TV.
Yes,
There's
exactly.
dents in my TV right now, throwing tomatoes. But
Well, that's
but
yeah. Sorry, what?
let's. I feel like while they were hiring that lie detector, I would have hired a private investigator. I'm gonna channel my inner Marisol. I want to really know what's really going on with Katie, because there's something.
What is she hiding? What is she? But see, this is where it gets meta because I'm like, are you just pushing this hard because you think this is such a huge opportunity? Like I always say, it's kind of like SNL, where all of these people are then auditioning and they have to really prove it, and they're going too hard sometimes. They come off a little crazy, but they want to make their mark. They're like,
Yes.
we're carving out our names on this show, and
Yes.
then Katie already knows that she's above all of this. And so she's making fun of everybody behind the scenes to people. She's laughing at Shannon. She's recording Shannon, all of these things. So it's not a natural friendship. So why, but then also then why get bloggers and journalists and people like us involved in this when I feel like that's just such an easy, like also, wouldn't you say to Kiki, like, this is between us. This is between us, girl. I don't, like, I want to tell you this, but you can't say to anybody else. Like, why take that risk?
Yeah, like it doesn't make any sense to me. I feel like whatever Katie was trying to achieve here, she just failed. She should have just came on, been cute and funny, let us fall in love with her. And if the other girls are gonna be mean to her, then we would have really had her back. We would have just been like, why are they ganging up on her? She's cute and funny.
Did she fail though? Because I see a lot of online discourse where they're like, Team Katie. Team Katie. And maybe it's because they just dislike Gina and Emily and Tamara or so much. But even Tamara's Team Katie all of a sudden. Tamara's a wild one, man. Tamara all of a sudden online is like Team Katie because Tamara reads the room. Tamara can read the room and she's constantly online. So Tamara's like, this is like job security in a sense, even though I was told that they let Katie go. But the audience seems like this is going to be wild if they let her go and then the audience is like Team Katie to see what happens.
Part of the reason the audience is Team Katie also, and I've been talking about this, and this is a tough topic to talk about, but the race angle, because this is what I say: are the ladies are the ladies of OC racist? I don't know, but what I do know is this one Asian girl. It looks like the optics. It looks like all these white girls are against the one Asian girl. Yeah. So, and I don't know. I don't know.
And on OC, you already had that season with Noella a couple seasons ago where she was one and done, if you remember that.
She was, like, yes, I do remember Noella.
And Gina going like, oh, yeah, I did ask if it was Asian because I was annoyed at that point. Like, it's still, Gina, that's still bad. Like,
that's bad.
I'm sorry. That's still, I don't care if you don't like her. That doesn't give you like, well, then it's okay to say things like that. Like, it's not okay.
You got to just think about how things sound coming out of your mouth. Not how things sound, but how does it sound coming out of your mouth? Because there are a lot of things that I can say that you can't say.
Exactly. Yes, I say, and I put my foot in my mouth all the time. And I even know, well, Gina, that's idiotic. Like, you don't then go, well, I was right to do these things. And then to have Gretchen there with you and like Gretchen of all people, no offense. And I love, this is what you love the Lord, right? So, do you think the Lord, when Slade is doing a group prayer with Gretchen, do you think the Lord is like, yo, guys, I can't be called into these Housewives shows. I'm like, I've got a lot of things on my plate right now. I mean, what do you think when you see Gretchen and Slade praying together? Because in one sense, you're like, well, it promotes the Lord. But in another sense, there's something, do you understand what I'm saying?
I don't mind a frivolous prayer because let me tell you, I am the queen of frivolous prayers. I'm at Ross. I see something in a size small. I need a medium, Lord. Lord, where's the medium? Bam. Hallelujah. Thank you. So I don't mind a frivolous prayer. Here's what disturbed me even more. Okay. And listen, I'm not here to judge anybody, but to be as on fire for God as they are pretending to be, they're not married. Why not? And why do you have husband? They're living in sin, and they have a thing on the wall that says hubby and wifey. Where? Where's the hubby and wifey? She's wearing a wedding ring. You're not married.
I didn't even notice the hubby wifey.
I noticed that on the wall. I'm like, what the hell y'all doing?
Very Sheena Shea, live, laugh, love. That's
very live, laugh, love. And listen, I'm a live, laugh, love girl. You know I love it. I can't drive past a TJ Maxx.
Yeah, but wait, but I feel like your live, laugh, love is internal. You don't need a sign to remind you to live, laugh, love.
No, I don't need to be reminded. I don't need to be reminded.
My mom loved those those signs over at Ross and all that. She had like this wall of like it's wine o'clock.
A gallery wall.
Oh, but it was all wine stuff. It was all wine, and then it was like the corks of all the wine bottles.
Oh, I like that.
But it was all like, it's wine o'clock, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. And I was just like, Jesus, Mom, this wall says you have an alcohol problem. And it's all from like Ross and like Home Goods.
Your mom sounds like my kind of gal.
She would have loved to have had a glass of wine with you.
We would have had a bottle.
Yeah.
Let's be real. We would have had a bottle.
Yeah. Costco went out of business after she passed. So Gretchen and Slade, though, also, if you love the Lord, you're not, like, if I'm remembering my commandments correctly, you're not supposed to lie. Or does it not count if it's on TV?
It counts. Gretchen, you're lying. And Gretchen's a liar. Like, I mean, let's not sit here, and I don't have anything against Gretchen, but let's not sit here and act like Gretchen is a good person. Gretchen is not a good person. Like, I don't know if Tamara, remember on that reunion right after her fiance Jeff had passed away, may he rest in peace. But remember when Tamara was like saying that she got these calls from this other guy that Gretchen was seeing? Part of me believed that. Part of me believed that at least some part of that was true, because there's just no way. We all know that Gretchen wasn't in love with that old man. She wasn't,
going back to watch those Naked Wasted episodes, I'm not saying that she was in love with that old man, but there was I don't know, like it really, I was going back and I was trying to like see it through different eyes, and there seemed to be respect, or I don't know what it was, but like but that's what I'm saying. There's so many bad things, because you're like, then you have Tamara trying to get her wasted. So you're like, well, I feel bad for Gretchen in that sense, because she really potentially was bullied by Tamara. But at the same time, Gretchen has lived a very weird life. So even though I agree with Gretchen this season because she seems to have Tamara's number, there are so many things about Gretchen that I disagree with. And I do think she's lying. But I think everybody's lying on this show. But I think, my frustration with this is, when you have seasons that are built or predicated on one event, we will never get to the bottom of it. Unless they tell us, it's like a murder mystery. Are they going to let us know at the end of this is what actually happened? Yeah.
And what makes me mad is like, Emily, what's really going on in your life? I don't want to hear about your kid's autism and eating disorder.
She was so angry. Angry. Get out of here, Katie.
I thought that was so rude. Let me tell you something. This is why they need diversity in the cast. They need a black girl on OC. They need one black girl. And I've been saying this for years. They need one black girl that's not afraid to say, no, that doesn't make any sense. And I was actually kind of proud of Gina in New Orleans.
Wait. I mean, Kelly Dodd's black.
No comment. Hey, Kelly, I love you.
Kelly, because she's like, she's 1/15th black or something. And I remember one of my favorite memes I made, like this was like 4 years ago. It was like, like Black History Month, and it was all the African American Bravo celebrities, and then I put Kelly Dodd at the very last box, and so fun, yeah. Anyways,
we'll have to talk about Kelly on another day.
Well, but Kelly's in that OC thing too of like, everybody seems to compete for their old spot on this show, because the 20th season is coming up next season. And like, I don't want, like, they're obviously not going to be like, well, we're starting from scratch. Like, no, they're going to probably celebrate 20 years of this show. Who do you bring back at this point? Like, who do you keep from this cast? Do you keep Katie, or is Katie Dunzo? Like, who would you want back?
I love Vicky Gunvalson.
Yeah,
I love
Vicky. Obviously,
I'd want Vicky back, and then maybe like Tammy Knickerbocker. You know what I mean?
Or who was that? Who was the Naked Wasted? Lynn Curtin.
Lynn.
I want to see how the bracelets, her daughters went through a journey, man.
Man, I feel so bad for Lynn. Her daughters, her poor daughters. I mean, No one
Yeah,
was
if you guys have
surprised.
look into just
Lynn
Google her
Curtin's daughter.
daughters. Yeah, they've gone through a lot of stuff over
They
the
went through a
years.
lot.
But
And then yeah, like maybe go back in time, and then also let's just find some more interesting people and rich people. I don't want to see anybody going through financial hardships. Like I don't want to see that. Like I want to see cool, like fun people. I like for my housewives to be aspirational. I want them driving like a fabulous car. I want them to have fabulous outfits. I want them living in a fabulous home. And then I want them to have an awesome personality. I want them to be slightly delusional. Like that, these are the qualities of a good housewife.
do you want them to be drunks?
Yes, I hate it when they get sober.
Yeah, no,
I was so proud of Luann when she started drinking again. I was like, good job. I was like, scare me there for a minute, girl.
Well, it is funny because it seems like all of these ladies, even though they say they don't want back on the show, it seems like they're always auditioning to get back on the show. And RHONY is like that right now too, because Luann, Ramona, and Sonia, they were all hanging out this past weekend. Luann was posting with all the ladies. And it really is right place, right time, because you never know. Even though I always yell at us, the audience, because we didn't show up for Ultimate Girls Trip, RHONY, when they had those ladies back together. We didn't watch that. I watched it, but a lot of people didn't.
I rewatched it. I thought Ultimate Girls Trip with the RHONY Legacy ladies was fabulous.
Nobody watched it. If we had showed up as a Bravo community and watched that, there would have been another one with those RHONY ladies.
Well, shoot, then the Bravo audience effed up bad, because I really, even though I like some of the ladies on the RHONY reboot, because I love RHONY so much, and the way that the ladies on RHONY used to be, they used to be so unfiltered, and this reboot was so filtered, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
The ladies on,
we were watching RHONY yesterday because DirecTV has this Bravo Vault channel. And
yes, I watch that all the time.
So great. Like you don't plan on watching it and you just turn it on and it's just great background. And Sonia was talking about like, I was trying to have sex with Carol, but Carol said she's done things with girls, but she didn't want to do things with me. And I was like, oh my God, how did I forget that Sonia even said she tried to have a lesbian experience with Carol Radswell? I was like, and it was so funny. It was not dramatic. It was just like, I said it and then I went on. And Carol was like, sorry, Sonia, I'm sorry, you know?
That's what I always loved about RHONY. RHONY knows how to say something crazy, have a fight, and it's over in 20 minutes. You know, meanwhile, how many episodes have we spent on the same thing on Orange County, on Beverly Hills? In New York, they nip that stuff in the bud before you can even finish your glass of Pinot.
There's no Lucy apple juice. Ramona Singer does not have the attention span for a Lucy apple juice.
Here's Ramona. She's going to say something terrible to you, and then she's going to come and say, you know what? I'm sorry. You know what? I wasn't thinking. And you know, sometimes I don't think, and I have diarrhea of the mouth. Sorry, I cut you off.
It was always great, Ramona. Like, remember how Ramona, there'd always be little pieces of poop everywhere? Like with Ramona, and I was like, do you think it's gotten worse? Because it couldn't have gotten better. Like, remember, like Sonia would be like, "Oh, Ramona, there's a little piece of poo here on the floor." And
Ramona's
like,
known for pooping. Insane. She's not allowed on Stephanie's.
Do you have a little bit more time? We're already at like over an hour. Are you good for a little bit more time?
I got time.
Okay. A couple more things. This is a blast. You know, OC is what it is. I don't think, obviously, we're going to change it this season, but I'm curious to see where they're going. Yeah. And also, Katie's not going to appear, I guess, as much in this back half of the season, which I think is a shame. And also, it will be very interesting to see what these other ladies have. Now, in regards to Tamara to me is a formidable foe in the sense that I also think there's potentially witchcraft involved with Tamara, because Tamara seems to be able to like cast a spell over all of these ladies. And it's like her moves to me are so transparent watching from the outside, but all of these ladies, I don't think they fear her, but at the same time, they don't seem to get it. And that's why Gretchen is very interesting, because Gretchen clocks her, even though I don't really like Gretchen. So what do you take on Tamara?
Because that's the thing. They're going so hard at Katie. And it's like, where has that energy been for Tamara? Like, they're going on and on and on about Katie. It's like, this girl just got here. You mean
like
to tell
Danny
me
on the Valley? Why are we going on Danny when you got Jax right there?
Ryan, don't even get me started on the Valley. I don't have my vape pen near me right now. I can't. I don't get it, because even So just like on the Valley, where we're not talking about what we really need to be talking about, same thing here. If we're bringing up Naked Wasted 17 years later, the only thing we should be talking about is how that was borderline sexual assault. And that is really, really bad. She did not drug her, but Tamara purposely tried to get this girl drunk so she could do something stupid.
Well, it's also it's Tamara's son. Tamara's son
Yes.
is so leeching on Gretchen on that episode, and it is so uncomfortable. And by the way, if you're going to go that meta, I would rather just an episode where you sit down the ladies and make them watch Naked Wasted. Make them all watch it. Like, wouldn't that be amazing just to watch them watch that episode in full?
Alex Baskin, call us.
That's what I want. I would pay to just watch. Like at the reunions, I always say the same thing. Like, don't show us the clips. I want to see them watch the clips and then react based off that.
And that's why, and I'm sorry, I don't want to turn this into a race thing. And I try to be so careful because people get really up in arms about the race stuff. But that's why it does, from my perspective, as my little black girl perspective, it does look like the white girls protect each other. It does. Because it's like, even remember that season 4 reunion, Gretchen, she didn't seem to bat an eyelash about Naked Wasted. She's like, yep, that is something that occurred. So it's like, but now we're seeing them all go so hard at
17
Katie.
years later. And okay, so that you think there is potentially race involved, and not outwardly, because I don't think it's cognizant, but there's a lot of, obviously unconscious racial bias that we all have.
We all have it. Like, the only person who doesn't have it is Jesus. And I'm sorry, but none of us look a thing like Jesus. So it's like, unless you're Jesus, none of us are perfect. We all have our little things. Let me tell you something, Ryan. If I was a white woman, I would be the worst white woman, probably. I would probably be Marjorie Taylor Greene. I would probably be Tommy. I would be terrible. I say terrible stuff all the time. Thank God if I was on a reality show, watch out. I'm probably definitely gonna say some stuff that's gonna get me canceled. Okay. But it just doesn't look good. Cause it's like Shannon is so mad at Katie. Shannon, how are you more mad at Katie than you are at Tamara? Tamara ripped your ass last season.
And she does it. But by the way, Tamara does it year after year, and we repeat the same patterns. Because I was like, Shannon's like, I'm not ready to let her back in yet. And I'm like, you said that 2 seasons ago when Tamara came back out of nowhere, and Tamara asked to be friends again, and Shannon's like, I'm not ready. And I'm like, that's the right thing, but you're now repeating the same thing. Like, this is like, what is that saying of like, stupidity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result.
Insanity.
That's what this show is kind of turned into. It's like, we're not learning. So I think Tamara is really smarter than all of these ladies in a sense. So in that way, I want to compliment Tamara, but it's frustrating. It's frustrating as an audience member, because you're like, this is wild. Like, you're like, give somebody else the ball at this point. Tamara is so good at
no one else
that
takes
spotlight.
it. No one else is taking the ball and using it in an effective way. All Emily's doing is screaming at people. I'm sorry. I say this on my own show, but I'm going to just say it to your audience as well, Ryan Bailey. Jimily does not belong on TV. Okay? That's what I call them. Gina and Emily. I call them Jimily.
Jimily. Listen, I'm like pretty easygoing, because like I thought they had a really bad last episode. And I'm like usually a little kinder, because we've seen Gina go from Casita Gina to being actually like, I don't have to worry about the next 2 months rent with Gina right now. Like before it was like really touch and go, where I'm like, I don't know if Gina's going to be able to put clothes on the kids' backs at this point. And now I don't worry about her in that sense. But there is a cockiness that I don't think Gina has earned yet. And there's also this element of, I'm the funny one. And I'm like, funny. I don't even know if you're the funny one. But like, you've been here 7 years. And they almost have thrived because the cast has been so weak at points, where they're like, okay, we'll keep them. Like if you would put them on like, I sometimes wonder, would they be more successful on early OC when it was like less like Avengers, and you had like the Lynn Curtains, and you had those kind of tertiary storylines with people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because like on early OC, we had, remember Lori Peterson.
Oh,
Lori Waring Peterson, she started out broke, remember?
And then she hooked up with the rich guy.
She came up, which that was beautiful to see. You know, if you're gonna start out broke, we want to see you come up. And I mean, Gina came up a little, but I mean, still, I mean, she's not in the casita anymore, but I mean, she in a casa. Okay, it's cute.
She can see she can still see the casita, and like, and yeah, I mean, like her storyline is like how big Travis's balls are, you know, and that's why I thought the lie detector, even as fake as it was so tacky that it is funny in the sense that we'll be able to make fun of that till the end of our days, but you're like, there's no real thing here, you know, and also I do love that the things that were lied about was like Heather Dubrow lying about the paparazzi with Terry, which I was like, that's LOL. Definitely. But like, I don't know. Obviously, Gretchen was lying in there too, and you can prove it. And I've seen that lie detector guy on every show known to man. So I don't really put much stock anyways in that.
No, because I would hope that actual real lie detector people are out here solving crimes. I would hope that they are not available.
I would hope they would not. Well, I would hope that they would not agree to be on TV. It's like when Tamara's therapist agreed to be on TV. I'm like, that's not good therapy. Like that is like all of Jax's therapists back in the day on Vanderpump Rules. If you're on TV, that's already like not good therapy.
No, absolutely not. No, I don't buy it. And then it just felt like, especially like, it just felt like it was all to show, well, Katie failed. She failed every single question. And Katie, you know what, Katie, you should just leave. You should just leave. Meanwhile, Ryan, did you notice that Emily's daughter was in the house the whole...
That's what I said in the recap. Emily's daughter, you guys, pops her head down and goes, trying to wave bye to her mom. And I just love that her daughter was probably upstairs listening to them all yell and going, and she's like, I have to leave for like cheerleading practice or whatever she's going to. And then like, I'm just going to run down and wave to mom while she's yelling at this Asian lady.
Yeah. Screaming at this Asian lady. I hope Annabelle's not at school screaming at the Asian children because, I mean, what is this? I'm like, Emily, if you're doing all this in front of Annabelle, you definitely spoke poorly about Heather in front of them twins.
Yeah. Well, so, and also your point, because by the way, you could be mad at Katie. Like, I think I'm confused about Katie lying. You know, I met Katie one time at Jeff. She was super nice, really liked her. But I've heard the same thing from people on this show and off this show that she's lied about a lot of things. I don't know what to believe. And also, I have no skin in the game. I rooted for Katie, but at the same time, it's Housewives. You know, nobody, like you said, nobody's Jesus on this show. Nobody is above reproach. So I do find it like when they get you can, like I always say, you can lose the scene and win the audience. And Katie's losing every scene where these women think they're winning, but all they're doing is making Katie stronger in a portion of the audience's eyes.
Yes, because now I get it because, you know, the race stuff is really hard. And then, I don't know. I know that there are some Black people who pick and choose when they want to get Black. You know, when it's Black Lives Matter and, you know, we're doing a march. Well, now I'm Black. But it's like at the end, like, I've never seen you hang around any Black people. Like, I've never seen you, like, you know what I mean? Like, so even like with Katie, I'm not saying, I don't know about Katie's friend group, but I do feel like Katie was like, I'm the Asian one. I'm wearing Asian designers. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. But it's like, you live in OC. How come do you have any friends outside of these ladies? How come you haven't brought any of your Asian community onto the show?
Well, remember they said she didn't even really live there. Remember?
Yep.
They were like, she was like that. That was another thing, was that Katie has lied from the beginning about everything. But also I want to remind the audience, so many people have lied about where they live. I mean, Meredith Marks lives in New York, for the love of God. I mean, she does like rent a place in Salt Lake. Yes. But a lot of, Beverly Hills, nobody lives in Beverly Hills.
And where does
Beverly Hills?
Robin Dixon on Potomac? She doesn't live in Potomac. Where did she live? She lived further out. Karen did too, right?
Yeah. They live in different areas.
You do what you got to do to get on the show. Listen, if the Real Housewives of whatever calls me, I'm moving. I'm going, you know? So, but
by the way,
I'm sorry.
No, please go. You saw what?
No, I was going to just say, I saw some scuttlebutt online about Katie, and I don't know if you saw this, and feel free to cut this out if, you know, but I saw on a clip, I don't know if you saw this clip, some publicist, I don't know his name. He was on Justin Martindale's podcast.
Amir, I think his name's Amir. I was on his podcast. Yeah, I think I saw that he was on Justin Martindale's podcast. I think it's called Just Saying. Highly recommend it, you guys. Love Justin. And he was saying that Katie hired him as a publicist, or did, and she wanted to be invited to like Fashion Week and all of this stuff. And then I think she didn't pay him or something, or I'm paraphrasing. I'm not sure the exact story, but she kind of screwed him, I guess.
Right. The little clip I remember, I feel like he was saying that Katie had all these big things that she wanted to do, because we know she was apparently a host at the Golf Channel. Listen, my father is a huge golf fan. I said, Daddy, do you know who Katie Janela is? And he was like, no. So I don't know what she was doing at the Golf Channel. Prior to Housewives, I've never heard of her. If she's a journalist, I'm a journalist. That's what I studied in college.
She wanted to be on the Today Show.
Good Morning America.
Good Morning America, yeah.
And I'm sorry, especially if the people at Good Morning America are watching OC right now, Katie, you blew the audition, baby. You're not.
But good news. Katie's on the next season of Saturday Night Live, so that's going to be great for. She's landed on her feet. Yeah, but it is interesting to watch this part of it, because all the housewives, even though the show is airing, they're like campaigning to be liked. Yes. You know, like Katie's out there trying to be very demure online now and like look perfect and trying to play ball and, you know, team Katie. And, you know, it's just it's very interesting to watch. And I'm curious where the rest of the season goes from here. Two last things, because I've kept you for so long.
Oh, yeah.
I talked to you about this, was that didn't Tamara say, like, didn't you say something on Reality Checked when you were on the show? Didn't you say an opinion about Tamara that got back to Tamara and Tamara got upset about it?
Well, here's the thing. You know, Tamara is my number one fan. She is the president and founder of the LaKendra Tooks Kensday fan club. So apparently I don't know how she found out, but one day when I was hosting, you know, it's a live show and we have people call in. So I will always listen. I don't care if I become friends with these housewives. I don't care what's going on. If you do something stupid or something I don't like, it's my job. It's our job to talk about it. It's my job to make fun of you, you know, because I want to make fun of you. So I'm like, Tamara, please tell me the lie, you know, because I said she's a bad mom. I said that her son is a farmhand that does cowboy cosplay. But that's not even what she got mad about. I don't, but somebody called in and called Alexis Jesus Jugs a whore. And I was like, well, I never called her a whore. I never called Tamara a whore. By the way, I don't think there's anything wrong with being a whore, because I think sex work is valid. So I wouldn't call someone a whore to be
but maybe the like sex worker, but whore is such an extreme word.
Yes.
Like, well, be a sex worker if you want to be a sex worker. But,
somebody else had called in. And so then the following week, because I do not listen to Tamara's podcast, the only two T's you need in your life is Tooks Takes. But the following week, somebody called in and was like, LaKendra, do you know that Tamara tattled to Andy about you? Apparently she had been talking about it on her podcast. So then it became a little bit of a story. And so I got a little bit nervous, because I was like, you know, I don't want Andy to get upset with me, because I know I would go in.
So Tamara somehow heard this, and she reached out to Andy Cohen to try to express her displeasure about your show. Allegedly,
apparently this is what took place. So now for me personally, and I know a lot of people thought that the reason I got let go from Reality Check is because of Tamara. Absolutely not. Tamara, first of all, has no pull at Radio Andy. So Tamara had nothing to do with that at all. And so when that was all happening, I reached out to Andy myself and said, hey, Andy, I just want to make sure, you know, that everything is cool, because I had only gotten rave reviews from Andy. And again, he said to me, he goes, yeah, you know, it's a little bit of a fine line, because I work with the housewives, but keep doing what you're doing. You're killing it. Keep doing what you're doing. That's essentially what Andy said to me. And guess what? The next week I went and dragged Tamara a little bit more. I'm dragging her still right now, because I'm like, if I'm lying, please take me to court and sue me. Please send me a cease and desist.
See, this is what I do. This is what frustrates me about, you know, it's like, I want to have fun. Like, I want to be able to talk about my honest opinions or like being silly about these shows. but like when they're so hyper observant of their own press, it bums me out because like, but by the way, you know, to Tamara's credit, she's able to use it against all these ladies. Like I said, it's like cheating for a test. She studies all of these shows. She listens to what we all say. I see her like read people on the show where I'm like, oh, I saw that comment on like a meme like a year ago. She must have seen it. Like, you know, she uses all of these things to her benefit. That's like her talent.
Yes.
But at the same time, it's frustrating because you're like, just like Tamara on her podcast says what she wants about people,
you say
right?
what you want because
she says what she wants to the other housewives.
Yeah. I mean, this is America. We have freedom of speech. And then also Tamara was saying she was on RHONY and Ben's podcast, Watch What Crappens.
Yeah.
And she was talking about, this was right after all this took place. And they were talking about me because I know RHONY and Ben well. Tamara said that I called her a POS, a piece of SHIT, which I don't even talk like that. I don't call people a PO. I said the only thing I ever said about her was that she's a bad mom. And I'm sorry. You know, her kid, you know, she's got multiple children that don't want anything to do with her.
Yeah. I mean, that's a storyline for her.
Yeah. And I mean, wait, I was going to say something else about Tamara. And here's my thing too with these housewives. Okay. If you're a reality star, the only thing that you don't have any talent. It's not like you're an actor. We're not going to get up here and start dragging Denzel Washington. He's an amazing actor. All he has to do is act. These people, they're reality stars. We're going to talk about you. If you don't want us to talk about you, get off TV. Go work at the bank.
Well, it's the unfortunate part of being a success on these shows is you need us to talk. Like Bravo in particular in reality shows need audiences to talk about them. It's not enough to watch. Yes. It's very different than a Denzel Washington film. Like you can go see the new Spike Lee film and you can like it. It can mean something to you. That's real art. But like, you know, it is not the voracious appetite of a Bravo viewer where you're fighting with somebody on Threads or Twitter or making memes. It's a different animal. And that's what it takes to succeed in reality TV in the year of 2025. Okay, so I've kept you so long. This has been amazing. I just wanted to read one story to you really quickly that came out today. Okay. I know you watch The Valley. And did you see the fight that's happening right now between Gigi from Shaws of Sunset and Kristen Doty?
Oh my God. No, I didn't even see. What's going on?
So Brittany went on a Cabo vacation with her new boo. I know you saw that, right? Did
yes.
You see that so not Jax Taylor, so we're happy.
Yes.
And Gigi on CC Loves You, it's an Instagram account.
Yes.
She posted this photo and Gigi wrote in the comments, oh, it looks like she's pregnant or something like that about Brittany. Because he was like, you know, he was like kind of holding her at the midsection or whatever.
Right.
Which is like, you don't comment on women's bodies. I would especially think if you're a woman, you don't. And then Doty wrote to Gigi in a DM. Doty says, why would you comment on a photo of Brittany speculating pregnancy as a woman and a mother? Fucking disgusting. Mm-hmm. And then Gigi wrote back, bro, you keep trying to come for me, haha. And I hate to say this to you, but I'm not the one. There's an image of that man holding her stomach. Isn't that what couples do when they announce they're potentially expecting? Especially when the woman's stomach clearly looks pregnant. As a woman and as a mother, it seems clear when there's a pregnancy announcement, but I guess I was wrong. She's not in my life for me to know what her body normally looks like to know that she's not pregnant. In an image of her man is holding her belly. I was clearly wrong. Now, with that being said, you and I are going to have major issues. Let me just make that clear. Don't ever call me names. I have yet to call you out of your name, but there's a long list of words I can share about you since it seems like that's the game you want to play with me. Try to accept God into your life. I can admit to making a mistake about that girl and be apologetic, but that's now a separate matter. Now it's you and me. So buckle up, buck teeth, she writes.
I'm looking at it right now. Buckle up, buck teeth.
Dang. You know, she didn't even spell teeth. Teeth. T-E-F.
Teeth.
So that was to me, that's like, wow, this is really it's like early promotion for the Shaws of Sunset reboot.
This is a lot.
What do you, I mean, by the way, you clearly don't say that about somebody like she looks pregnant. Come on, that's Gigi's wrong, right?
Yeah, that's wrong, Gigi. And Gigi knows better than that. And especially Brittany has had, you know, she's had issues with her weight. She's been on Jenny Craig. She was the Jenny Craig person for a minute.
Yes, and she's happy with this guy, or they're in new love.
Now I'm looking at the picture. He is holding her belly. Let me look at it again.
It does look like he's holding her at the midsuction, but like, what, he's going to hold her at the boob area?
That's how I like guys to hold me. I say, right.
But like, I mean, but Gigi was ready for it. Gigi was ready, and she wrote a paragraph back to Dodie, who's sticking up for her friend.
You want to talk about somebody who had time today? Gigi had time. She had time. She wrote a novel. Kristen is, we see it on Valley. Kristen goes hard. She goes hard for Danny and Nia. She's going hard for Brittany right now. I mean, this could have just stayed between them. Who made it public? Gigi's the one that posted the screenshots?
No, I think Dodie posted the screenshots.
Oh, snap. Wow. So maybe we need an ultimate Bravo celebs girls trip. That would be good.
And by the way, the Shaw's reboot is produced by Alex Baskin, who also produces The Valley, who also produces OC, and who also produces Beverly Hills.
Who also needs to call us so that we can help him make OC better.
Yeah, but say, LaKendra, you handle Gigi. I'll handle Brittany's new guy. But I just thought that was like, there's always, the shows can't move fast enough to capture all the drama that happens on a day-to-day basis. Like even with OC, there needs to be a show behind the show because all of this stuff is happening online. Okay, so you've stayed with us an hour and a half. My God, thank you so much. Tooks Takes, you guys. Today is Kins Day. You can download a new episode of Tooks Takes right now. What I'm going to need you to do, and what we always say for any guest that takes the time to come on here, you're going to hit subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and then you're going to do one better. You're going to rate it 5 stars even before you listen to it. Because, listen, it's already road tested at this point. 5 stars. I know you're like, oh, she doesn't need that. We all need that. Because when you rate it 5 stars, it does help with your placement. So it'll suggest the show to other people. So we want that to happen for Tooks Takes. So do that, and if enough people do that, maybe she'll come back on the show, and we can have this be a regular thing. But
maybe.
Leendra, what else is?
Maybe I'll think about coming back.
Yeah. What else? What else can we? What else do we need to know?
Oh, follow me at LaKendra Tooks, at Tooks Takes on all the social media platforms, and please support me because I do stand up also, and I'm getting my stand up career back going again, and yeah, I'm just excited to, I'm every little thing I'm working on my writing, pitching, everything, when you plant these seeds, you know how it is in this industry. You plant seeds, you water it, eventually it grows. So I do believe I'm in a little harvest season. So y'all stay tuned and always see what's going on with me. Cause I do.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm going to put that all in the show notes, you guys. Go follow her on Insta and all of that stuff. But she's great, you guys. This has been fantastic. It flew by, and I feel like we talked about 2 things, but I was having such a fun time. So thank you. And thank you guys to everybody that's listening today. But Tooks Takes every Wednesday. I'm telling you, you're going to dig it. And she'll be on Jeff Lewis Live this Friday. Yes. And you're on with Jeff's brother, right?
Yes, Todd. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get invited to the next Lewis family trip.
See, I know that. There's not. I'm not gonna even bother to ask. I'm just excited to get to the chump parties. That's all I'm happy for. But LaKendra Tooks, ladies and gentlemen.